What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast. It's the Battleground Podcast. We were talking briefly before we even started the show how I never really fangirl when it comes to guests on the show, right? But today I've got this guy's t-shirt, as you can see, part of the oddities. We got Violent J from Insane Clown Posse on the show. Violent J, my man, What's going on? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing real good, man. I'm doing real good. Real excited to be getting back involved with wrestling like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you've got your hands full. I mean, you're going to be a part of the NWA at the Chase coming up in St. Louis. You're going to be in the corner of the Brothers of FUNstruction, which when I saw those guys come out the first time, I was like, you know, if they don't somehow get ICP involved with this group, the ball's been dropped. And sure enough, I'm scrolling through Twitter one day, and NWA just puts out whoop whoop, and I'm like, oh shit, it's about to happen. And then next thing you know, you put out your video and you're going to be there in the corner because you're kind of, I guess, looking at another team there that likes to put paint on their face, but they're not really cool. They're not the clowns. Law Rebellion and a guy that you know, Vampiro. So walk me through this. How did you get involved with the Brothers of FUNstruction and get tagged up with the NWA?
Well, first of all, when Billy Corgan hooked up with the NWA, you know, when he started owning it, right? He owns it.
Yep. When
he bought it, I became a legit fan. You know, I loved what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I loved how they had the old setup. You know what I mean? And Colt Cabana was there, and he's a good friend of mine. And so I was primarily at the beginning checking it out to see Colt Cabana. And then I was like, man, this is dope, you know, like I liked what he was doing with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So next thing you know, Vampiro, who was our world champion in JCW, our promotion, which is Juggalo Championship Wrestling, he's been our champion on and off for many years, you know? When we hooked up for the first time back in WCW, back in 2000 or 1999, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we remained good friends all these years. You know, he's like one of the only guys in wrestling that we remain consistently close with the whole time, you know, since then.
Yeah.
And so he would come in and work for JCW, and he recently, well, about three years ago, won our world title again, and he's had it ever since, and he just retired it last month or 2 months ago at the Gathering. He just retired the world title, and now he's there in NWA. And when I heard about him, I was like, man, I love that promotion. I love what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, tell him I want to come in. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, all right. And then so I said, ask Billy Corgan if I can get his number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Vamp asked him, and Billy Corgan was cool as fuck, and we start talking, and the rest is history, you know. And if I could come back anywhere, you know, into wrestling again, because it's been a while, I'm glad to be in NWA because I love what it's about. I love what they're doing, and I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to go home and watch myself on a wrestling promotion again, having some sort of affiliation, and not be the one doing it or running the promotion. You get what I'm saying?
You want to be you know, part of the crew, not the guy that's handing out the checks at the end of the night.
Exactly. I want to watch the show that they put together. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's going to be an exciting time. Of course, the NWA 75 at the historic Chase in St. Louis. I mean, you look at everything that's happening that night, and I want to kind of go back because this is a great thing, be doing a radio show of music and, of course, this wrestling podcast. Wrestling's got a unique blend of athleticism and entertainment. How do you see the similarities and differences between the creative aspects of wrestling and then creating music?
I just know this. I don't know about creating music because I think it's no different creating a match. Like, you know, when Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker are working out a fucking great match at WrestleMania, you know what I mean? That's no different than a band working out a great concert. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do know this. theatrics wise, they're the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, bands might not want to admit this, but every band has a gimmick. Every band has a you know what I mean? A gimmick.
Right.
Even if their thing is they don't have gimmick. They don't have a gimmick. We don't try to look a certain way. This is us. You get what it is. If that's their stance, that's their gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're like, we don't have a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
That's your gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like, everybody has something about them in music, you know, that they could be an action figure. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Elton John with the crazy hats and the fucking glasses, or whether it's, you know, down to Willie Nelson, always smoking weed with the cowboy hat. And, you know, everybody has who they are and what they're about, and basically it's their gimmick. You know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of similarities.
Absolutely. And that's the great thing is, like you say, I mean, wrestling and music, it's all entertainment, and we're there to have fun, and you're there to enjoy it.
Give me another example. Jack Black of the White Stripes, right? We did a photo shoot with him. Now, before we did the photo shoot, me and Shaggy were in the bathroom putting our makeup on, right?
Yeah.
And Jack Black was putting on his all black outfit with the hat he always wears, you know, or Slash from Guns N' Roses. We did a song with him in the studio. We didn't even know that was him because he had a baseball cap turned on backward. He didn't have the top hat in the Slash outfit. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it's time for photos, he becomes Slash. You know, it's no different than a wrestler putting on his gear. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and being here in Nashville, like the other day I was walking around and I was like, I think that's Robert Plant over there of Led Zeppelin. And he was just walking around at a farmer's market, and like nobody knew it was Robert Plant except for me, because he wasn't in the Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin.
Right.
So it was just, they're just like, it's just some old dude buying honey today. Like,
right.
That's what they thought. So
right.
Let me ask you this, because I mean, you guys you've stepped in the ring a couple of times, a handful of times.
Oh, hell yeah.
What were some of the most challenging moments that you faced inside the ring, and how did you overcome those?
Man, you know, like, we've had a lot of in-ring activity. I mean, a lot. We used to be wrestlers, you know, before we even rapped. I was an independent wrestler in the Midwest. And, you know, we've had a lot of challenges. Like, when we had our first actual match in the WWE, they told us to go out there and to not look like we're wrestlers. They told us to look like we're brawlers. They wanted us to choke and scratch and bite and not to do any wrestling moves. You know what I mean? And it was a 4-man tag team. It was two of the Oddities and me and Shaggy versus Kai and Tai. And we got out there at Monday Night Raw, and we were like, fuck what they said. We're doing wrestling moves, you know what I mean?
Right.
The side suplex, and we was doing all the wrestling moves, you know what I mean? They told us not to do it, but Shaggy went to the top rope and did his leg drop and everything, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
The guy from Kai and Tai was laying on the mat, and we didn't go over it in the back, and he didn't know what he was going to the top rope for. The guy's look on his face was like, you know, he didn't know if Shaggy was going to land his face on his ass on his face or what.
Yeah.
But Shaggy landed it perfectly, you know, because we knew what we were doing, you know. And but yeah, we took that opportunity. And I remember Shaggy said to me at the end of the match, Shaggy said to me, do your moonsault, you know. And I was like, no, I was scared.
Right.
I said, no, just pin him, you know. So we pinned him, and then I regretted it forever. I should have did my fucking moonsault on Monday Night Raw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we got to WCW, our first day in WCW, I did my fucking moonsault.
You're like, I'm doing this fucking thing right now. I'm not going to regret it ever again.
I'm doing this on Monday Night TV wrestling somewhere, damn it, you know?
Exactly.
So when I had that opportunity in WCW, I fucking did it. And the boy, man, Hugh Morris was mad.
Really?
Backstage,
Why?
he was kicking shit, throwing shit. He's like, I'm the only big man that does moonsault around here, fucking clown. Who is this? You know? And then Eric Bischoff came into the dressing room, and he was talking to us, and you could hear Hugh Morris out there tripping still, right? And Eric Bischoff like rolling his eyes, and he's like, listen, don't do the moonsault again. You know, he was rolling his eyes saying, because of this crybaby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't do the moonsault. The guy was like, cool, I won't do it. I did it already. I don't need to do it again.
Exactly.
I wasn't going to do it again anyway. You know what I'm saying?
You landed it. It looked good.
I'm done.
You crossed it off your list. You're good. You don't have to do it again. Man, it's great because, I mean, you talk about the times. I mean, you were in WWE and WWF. You were in WCW. I mean, you were all over the place. Something that I think that we should all petition this for, because, you know, WWE has their celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. When are we going to see ICP in the celebrity wing of Hall of Fame?
Are you kidding me?
Drew Carey's in there. Kid Rock's in there.
That would be, I think, if to be in that would equal, I'm trying to make this a true statement. To be in the WWE Hall of Fame, to me personally, would probably equal being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the excitement and the honor, if they ask something like that, it would probably be as cool as being inducted into the, for me, you know what I'm saying? And my passion, who I am, it would probably be as cool as being in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But, you know, I just want to state again, and I always try to state this when I'm talking about wrestling. I know ICP didn't end up in all those cool promotions because of our wrestling skills. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely our fame or whatever in music that got us in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we ever, you know, I respect the fuck out of wrestlers. And I know when we were in WWE, we had a lot of heat because people just thought, oh, they're up in here because of the music, you know. And I just want to say we weren't taking an opportunity. None of them wouldn't have took themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we paid our dues. At the end of the day, we might have paid them through music instead of taking the wrestling route. But I just want to say, you know, I know we weren't in them promotions because of our wrestling skills. We were there because of our rapping skills. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Shaggy was a pretty good fucking wrestler, I think. Shaggy was really good.
I remember watching y'all's matches in those, and I was like, I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. Like, no joke. Like, I mean, I'd sit there and watch the matches, and you'd see everybody in the arena doing this when you guys would come out with the oddities. And I remember, like, for the oddities, like, it was a big pop culture thing. It was you had you guys with ICP, you had, and I'm always drawing a blank on his name, but he always came out with Cartman. So that was a big pop culture moment with South Park and blended everything together. And the great thing about the oddities was, it showed that here's this group of odd people that people could look up and be like, I could be friends with all of them. And that was what was great for me, because I was that odd dude out because I was watching wrestling growing up as a kid and all this other stuff. And I gravitated towards the oddities because every time y'all stepped out there, you're having fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a serious thing.
It was a cool thing, you know. I look at the oddities a lot like I look at Spirit Squad. They're totally different, of course, but they were like, I look at them sort of like they were they were cool gimmicks that were slightly underappreciated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're cool gimmicks. Like, I look at fucking Spirit Squad, like that was one of the coolest heel gimmicks ever. You know what I mean? 5 guys, male cheerleaders, and so easy to hate, you know. And on the flip side of that, the oddities were easy to love for the very reasons you gave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't out there trying to be the coolest guy with the wet hair and the lights on and looking all sweet. They were out there basically as fun having fools, you know, and proud of it. A lot like what Juggalos are, you know, and it was cool, man. It was really cool.
And again, something cool that you're going to be a part of, NWA 75. It's at the Chase in St. Louis. It's going to be, you can grab your tickets right now, nwatix.com. But you talk about the Juggalos. So the crossover between the Juggalos and, of course, fans of professional wrestling is quite noticeable, right? Who do you think draws these two fan bases together? And like, I mean, I would assume, I know it's you guys, but how have you embraced the connection with music and in your wrestling endeavors?
Because it's the same thing. You know, in wrestling, you can have 2 guys, maybe 3 with the referee in the ring, captivating 70,000 people. Everybody there in the arena or the stadium knows it's a work, but nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's having a blast. You know, they're escaping reality for a minute. You know, they all know this ain't a real competition, but they're into it just as much as if it were. And they're escaping. They got to go to work the next day, you know, back to reality. They want to escape. That's what wrestling is. It's an escape. And it's done well, it's bomb ass. If it's done well, it's incredible. No different than what we do. Everybody knows we're not really killer clowns. If they think we are, they got a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I got paint on my face. Obviously, we're entertainment, you know? And but it's an escape. It's therapy. It's a release, you know, and they're very similar. They're entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Mostly, I mean, mostly for what I would assume are mostly, maybe I'm wrong, but blue collar type people, right? Yeah, hardworking people that they got to work and want an escape. And our music is no different than a wrestling crowd. You know, they know it, but they know not to take what they're seeing literally. Like if a wrestler's a heel and they know not to. Maybe they didn't back in the 80s and 70s, but they know now not to wait out by their car and fight the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly right.
It's
crazy.
You know?
And I love it because I mean now that you know, as I got older, I realized a lot of wrestling stuff, and I've got 2 kids. My oldest one, he was into wrestling for a little bit, and then he was like, I'm too cool for school for this stuff. But my 6-year-old just absolutely loves wrestling. Like, he just soaks it all in, and he's also starting to become that, you know, into music as well. So he's learning all that. And I want to talk about music with you for a second. What was it like? Because I remember scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden you guys started getting viral on TikTok for one of your songs. And like, I remember every other video I would scroll through and it was you guys music video, just your song playing. How did that make you feel to get back into there with like a new kind of a viral sensation?
One of the best things ever happened to us. We got like 3 songs on there that went viral, and it's hands down this right here. I'm just gonna keep it real. This stage in our career has been the most lucrative, most successful stage of our entire career. Even when we had 3 albums on the Billboard 200, you know, we've been doing better now. You know, it's also not not just the TikTok, it's also nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Like my friend Vanilla Ice, you know, he came out, he was playing arenas everywhere, right? Then you hit a phase where you kind of go down, you know, like that's where we met Vanilla Ice, is playing small clubs and shit like that. We used to do that together in the late 90s and 2000s. But now he's in the arenas again. You get what I'm saying? It's that nostalgia.
Yeah.
It comes back and everybody's thinking of the old days, and now he's selling out an amphitheater every night. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we've done better now in our old, like him, but in our own underground way. We've done better now at this stage in our career than we ever did when we were quote unquote current. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been amazing in the TikTok stuff, the viral hits. Like when we do meet and greets at our concerts, it's 60-70% young ass fans, you know, young ass people coming out to our shows. And that is always great, because that means they're gonna be down or have nostalgia too 20 years from now. You know
and that's what, and you know, you talk about the young fans, because like, so my oldest kid who's 15, he watches the TikTok videos, and this made me feel old. He's like, man, like I just heard about this new band on TikTok, and he was like showing me, and it was the one where everybody was doing Hocus Pocus, and he was like, I found this new band ICP, and I'm like, bro, son, like that's not a new band. Like dad listened to them growing up. And he's like, what? So he would listen to Hocus Pocus before his basketball, or not his basketball games, his baseball games, which mom didn't like that because I let him listen to the dirty version. But I was like, fuck it, who cares? Let him listen to it. But it's great to see the young fans are now coming back around thanks to social media, because like I said, I couldn't scroll through TikTok without every other video with somebody, you know, in the makeup doing the Hocus Pocus song.
Right. Brother, if I'm 51, if I'd have known my life would be like this at 51, I wouldn't have dreaded getting older. You know what I'm saying? No, honestly, like I always thought, man, when I'm old, I might be struggling and hanging on to the past or whatever. But it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's been a blessing. And if I'd have known that I would still feel like this and still be making music and living the life I am at 51, when I was 30, I wouldn't have worried about getting older. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I'll be all right then too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been a huge blessing, man. The TikTok things. And even aside from that, it's just been really strange. Like the amount of the amount of interest in our music after all this time, and then the amount of new people still discovering it. It's just a huge, we're just so lucky. I feel like, maybe in another life or something, I did something really cool. I don't know why we're so blessed, but we're definitely blessed. You know what I mean?
For sure. I'm grateful to see you guys getting your flowers now instead of like after everything's all said and done, because I love when people are still around to see the flowers that they're given to them instead of like after everything's done. It's like, oh man, they were so great. And all of a sudden everything skyrockets. Well, everything's skyrocketing for you guys and you're able to see it skyrocketing and not, on the tail end of it.
It feels great, man. It's really cool. And I never thought I'd be having conversations with the people I'm talking to. I never thought me and Billy Corgan would be talking about music. You know what I mean?
Right.
I never thought I would be hanging with talking to Billy Corgan and shit. Like, and yesterday I did a podcast with Joel Madden from Good Charlotte. And we're just chopping it up. And these are guys I never thought we would be. So I would be associating with, because they're like on that other pinnacle of success, and we're always been so underground, and it's just, you never know in life. The only thing you can expect is the unexpected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only guarantee, is change. So if things are a certain way, whether you want them to or not, they're probably eventually going to change. You know what I mean?
For sure. Now, you talk about you hanging out with Billy Corgan, and this is just me being a music nerd now. Are we going to be able to possibly see an ICP and Smashing Pumpkins song collab soon?
That's
maybe
crazy, because that's what we're talking about. Like, we're talking to him about it, and we're like, man, we fuck everybody up with that. You know what I mean?
Like,
and I didn't want to talk to him about music. I just was like, I want to respect him. I don't want to hound dog him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somehow we ended up talking about music. You know what I mean? And we sent each other a couple little things, and we started talking about doing one together. And I'm like, man, that'd just be so dope. We'll see.
If this happens, like I will break formats on my classic rock show, and I will play it the moment if you text me and say, hey, it's done, I will play it, and I will break format on my classic rock station and be like, I have an exclusive. It's ICP and Smashing Pumpkins, and you hear it first in Nashville.
Yeah,
so,
we talked about
crossed.
putting him on like a chorus, having him do a chorus. It just be so cool, man. I just would be so honored, because I've been a legit fan forever, like a fan, like not like a respect fan, like, oh, I respect what they did, I've been a legit fan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is cool to kick it with them like that, and be able to kick it on wrestling, you know what I mean? Because we're both huge wrestling fans, that mostly made our living in rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? So we got that in common, you know what I mean? He's cool, but I haven't got to meet him yet in person, but we've been kicking it on text and everything, and he's just a super cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's a very cool dude. We've had him on the show a couple of times. We've even had him in studio, and it's been great. I do want to talk about, the Brothers of FUNstruction. Like, how did you get teamed up with him? I mean, it's a match made in heaven. I mean, you and them, it's perfect. Man, like, how did that all come about?
We were doing JCW, our promotion, and they came in for us. I guess they used to work for us under different names.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Before they were the Brothers of FUNstruction. And but we heard they were doing the clown thing. And what's cool is, they're not the type of clowns ICP is. They're kind of, from looking at, they're kind of like hobo clowns. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
A whole different kind of clown, And man, they remind me of a tag team we used to have called the Ring Riders, where being a fucking fan of wrestling my whole life, to see a tag team doing something I have never seen always shocks me because I've seen it all. And those guys do spot after spot after spot you never saw. They do shit with balloons, confetti, squirting flowers. Just the clown things they do are so cool. And the shit they've thought up is so different and unique that when I saw them wrestling in our promotion, I was blown away. Like legit. And this way before I ever knew I'd be in their corner. You know what I mean? And so we put the straps on them in our promotion, you know, because it's so cool and so innovative what they're doing, you know. And then so when they ended up in NWA and Vamp ended up in NWA, I just hit Vamp up like, what's up?
Right. Like this is gonna be a fun time. Like, and this is one of those things I think I might have to make a road trip up here to St. Louis here soon for the show that's coming up at the end of the month in St. Louis, NWA 75. I mean, you look at that. Now, it would be the icing on the cake for you guys, right? If you know, somehow the Brothers of FUNstruction are able to walk out the NWA Tag Team Champions, and you could be like, I'm the manager of the champs. What now?
They already beat them. You know what I mean? Just got to repeat that performance with me in the corner. Yeah, I don't know how Vamp's gonna feel though, you know, because I know Vamp's over there getting his shine on, managing the champs and everything, and we might have to go over there and take that shine from him, and then I just hope he don't get salty about it.
He'll be fine. You know what I mean? He'll be fine. He'll be fine. You just go backstage and be like, sorry about that, bud. We got to take things over from now. And I mean, here's the thing. It's La Rebellion's been champions for long enough. I think it's time for the Brothers of FUNstruction. I think it's their time to shine and show out the nice gold and maybe add a little fun to it.
Yeah. And they can bring them NWA straps to JCW just in time for our Halloween show. You know what I mean? As the NWA and the JCW tag champs.
I mean, that would be, no pun intended, insane. So I know you're a very busy man, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I one last thing before we let you go. Is there anything you want to say to the fans that are watching this? Anything you got planned for the rest of the year? New music? Anything you want to plug? This is your time to talk and tell everybody.
Hit me on Insta at Violent J, right? At Violent J. At violentj.icp. Follow me on Insta. That's pretty much the only social media platform I do. You know what I mean? We have everything else, but I don't personally run it the way I do the Insta. You know what I mean? Just want to let all the fans know, hey, I'm in the same boat as you. Don't let me front. I'm a fan. All right, that's what I'm doing here. I'm a fan. I'm not one of these guys too cool to say, I'm not a Mark, or that's Mark thinking. No, my name should be Mark because I am a Mark. All right,
I think we're all Marks in wrestling.
What I'm doing here. I love this business. I love this industry, and I'm proud as hell to be in it. And it sure is fun doing the things I love to do, and being in NWA is definitely one of them. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy, and I'm very honored to be attempting to entertain the fans, you know, because I'm one of them. So I'm gonna do my best. You know what I mean?
For sure. And we're definitely excited to see you back up with the NWA and doing the thing, and looking forward to it. And Violent J, it's an honor to have you on the show. As a kid growing up, watching you guys on TV and listening to your music, if you would have told Little Battle, hey, you're going to be talking to one half of Insane Clown Posse, I would have been like, you're fucking stupid. But here it is. I'm sitting here talking to you through the computer, and hopefully one day we can do it in studio when you're in Nashville.
Hell yeah. I was going to say, this is the first of many times, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, Violent J, it's an honor to have you on the show, my man, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.